Let's pray. Dear Lord, please thank you for this day that you've given us, Lord. And please forgive us for our sins where we've failed you. Please lead, guide, and direct us in the decisions that we make for the school district, Lord. And please say put your special arms around the Purdy family as they're dealing with the loss of a loved one. In your name I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll look at the agenda. Oh, it's not amended, right? I'm sure we did, yeah, right?
Like I say, unless you want to admit it, because I'm taking that one recommendation off, but I don't see any reason. It's just a duplicate more than it is. It's an amendment.
That's right. All right, we get a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
All right, everybody take a minute to look at the minutes from the last meeting. All right, if there's no concerns with that, we'll get a motion to approve the minutes of the September 16th board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Item 4.1 is our financial update.
The fund balance of district maintenance as of September 30th was $3,864,615.96. The cash on hand district maintenance of September 30th was $3,746,970.67. The auditors are putting the final touches. They need one more thing from me, and it should be going to OSA, and hopefully they will do what they need to do and get the report back as quickly as possible. I haven't seen a rough draft or anything yet, but it went well, it went smooth. A lot of district teams got theirs. They haven't even came to the field work yet, so we're game, I like getting ours done. Or otherwise, someone's still fresh on the minds. And that way, if we are doing something wrong, we can correct it, won't do it for 2 years. But not a whole lot right now going on.
So they were here all week?
Huh?
Were they here?
No, they were here in September.
But for a week or just a few days?
There were 3 of them, and they were here for 2.5 days. Is that right?
Oh, no, that.
Well, they came and did, one guy came and did some preliminary work for a day and a half, and then like 3 weeks later, 3 of them came in and did the rest. But that is something too. A lot more requirements with Sevitas and leases and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of firms that have been doing school audits, or this or last year, but ain't worth the headache, time, effort. So they're getting out of it. But I have Joel Cunningham. He agreed when he left last time. I had to go one off, and I'm gonna get a proposal from him and try to get that approved as soon as possible.
And 3 on?
Hmm?
They can do it 3 years consecutive and then off one, is that right?
Yeah, you can do 3 on, 1 off, 3 on, or you can do 3-3.
Right,
But
different firm.
Joel's really good about he's usually got our stuff back complete before we get out for Christmas. I don't know like I said, I've used them before, but just like everything, the turnover in their office and everything else. So. has just been a mess. And it's not on our end, it's on Indeed's end. We're sitting here pretty much November, and they have been given our final allocation, and we can just submit our budget to them, I think, 2 weeks ago. So paying salaries out of you, not till you're in a financial situation, we can absorb the salaries and then get reimbursed after the fact, but it's, I don't know how we can do it with federal programs. All our federal program money has been approved for a while, drawing it down, and we're still here, like I say, at Christmas, don't even know if we're gonna be able to draw money down by the end of it, so, you know, that's pretty much the update I got, unless y'all have any questions.
Yeah, all right, 4.3, 4.2 is our claims docket.
Those first five, AT&T, C-Spire, C-Spire Wireless, Max, South Robin, and next there, that's the ones I told y'all that we hadn't got because we kept that down early. I'd already paid those, but I told y'all I put them on here so we could pay them. Those have already been paid, so the true new ones start at First Security Bank at $72,000. That is the interest payment on the GO bond. The Cornerstone right here, we're trying to, that's half a payment for the trainer services. We, in the second year of our deal, our agreement with them, $15,000. So towards the middle of the football season, we pay half of it, then we'll pay the other half middle end of baseball, softball season. It just sticks out. Also, there's one of the last ones we are, the one to Bank Plus, that is on our QSAP. We get, it's going off next year, so we will be doing another, we can't let those bills go away or we lose them. So I don't know how much money it'd be. When we originally did it, it was $500,000, but you know, they did possibly buy us a couple buses. That money would have to be for buildings and buses. It can't be for anything else, but we'll get that ball, have it. When it rolls off, we'll have something new rolling on. But that was an interest-free loan where we pay the interest and then the RS pays us back. So that month's reading, it says principal and interest. We are actually paying the interest on it, but we will, IRS will send us a check for the interest that we paid on, that we paid. I say it's a little large this time, but we had to get rid of some, I think it's Title 5 or Title 3, 4 money. It was, we had to have it obligated from the previous year. And that Park Road, that was for the FFA loans. And hopefully the electric bill will start going down now that, well, I say that we set a record high today, so I don't know when we can cut the air off. Only about cut the air off, then we got, I saw natural gas, furnaces, so, and, natural gas bill go, so I don't know. We're a lot more energy efficient than we were 10 years ago with the units and those gas furnaces on the wall.
Striker in line with everyone.
There's a small check to the basketball boosters for $200.
Yes, that was, that summer league, the check was written to the school,
Okay. So
and it was actually for
okay.
the boosters. And since it was made out to us, they could not deposit it, so they tried to, and they wouldn't, the bank wouldn't deposit it. It was made out to Water Valley School District, Water Valley High School versus Water Valley Basketball Booster, so we're giving the money back.
Okay.
So it got deposited and went right back. No, we're not giving the boosters.
Just look odd. Okay.
Fluency Plus is William Swindle, our
Okay,
psychiatrist.
okay.
Yeah. And then the Mid-South Rehab Services, see, that's the money that we normally would pay for out of IDEA, Mid-South Rehab
Yeah.
Services,
Mill
Lewis
Creek.
C Plus, and Mill Creek is one way or the other, because that's Ed Child. We'll get, after we spend, I think it's $6,000, and they'll start reimbursing us through Ed Child on that. But that's money that normally IDA would pay for.
Uh-huh.
Since that happened, they said, do not start spending IDA, 25 IDA money without approval. So
So we just have to.
we owe
put
them
some
money,
in
so we're
here.
having to pay for it out of district, and then,
We'll see. I'll get it.
Hmm.
We'll get it.
yes,
Right.
Some of it.
but that's what it is. Mill Creek, Fluency Plus, Mid-South.
I'm good.
All right, can we get a motion to approve all claims that are fair and just in the amount of $367,462.28?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
All right, item 5.1.
That's all I have. Do y'all need anything else from me?
Thank you for your service.
I figured you might want to talk about the school bus.
It's just, the only thing about that school bus is, well, we normally pick it up for about 30, we're not getting it for 30 no more.
But it's a good deal on it still.
Yeah, it's,
We're lucky to find that.
we are, and I think I put 100,000 in the budget, so it's in budget. But they said we have to amend the budget, and if they can find another, we get a couple.
We desperately
So,
need.
that's just, where we normally just get a couple to go along. It's, like I said, that's also, that 3 million, we get us off, it's 500, you know, we can buy something else, we could possibly buy a couple of brand new ones, if he wants them. But just the regular size bus now, a new one is $140,000. He likes the big one because can't find bus driver, so he's had to consolidate routes, so.
78 passengers. They don't know the ones he likes.
So,
All right.
Appreciate it.
see one.
All
Yeah, have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 5.1 is public comments, and we have none. And item 5.2 is our Water Valley High School update.
Yeah, I just want to do, before I do the water running, the high school update, just want to give you an update on school improvement. The high school did come off of school improvement this year, which is a big deal. Off of our ATSI designation, which has been a process, and a lot of hard work has gone into that. The elementary did not. They re-identified for our special education, just ELA, special education. So, but the high school, just to give you kind of an idea of the leaps and bounds that have been made there for our African American students. It went from 468 subgroup score in 2018 to 583 this last year, so 148-point increase in the scores of our African American students. If you split it up from junior high to high school, basically the junior high, our African American students went from an F to a C. Our high school students African American students went from a D to a B. So are we done yet? Absolutely not. We're not going to stop till we have, we want equity. That's our goal. And in some areas, in the 9-12 school, our African American students are actually outscoring everybody now. So that's something we're going to keep on pushing and striving for. That's how that first of all, it's the right thing to do. Number two, that's how you get to an A, is to make sure everybody is high achieving. We lose that money, of course, that we were using to bring in consultants, but Vicki has gotten a year of iReady for the junior high this year that we're using for free. So we're probably going to spend a little money on remediation for iReady next year. And when you see our school board update, you see that we're seeing pretty good results at the high school. Now, the reason that the school board update looks different is because the high school is no longer required to do this every month. But I think it's something that is good to do. It gives you guys an update, and you can kind of see where we are and every month. And if you can see, if you look at the high school board update, you can see that as far as our goals are on the left, and I know you've seen this many times, but we're very close to our year-end goals right here after the first page corner.
Yeah, I thought the high school was really good.
It did.
Yeah, that 125 grade. was
Yeah,
outstanding
and
reading.
we were pleasantly surprised in 10th grade ELA. Because, you know, you follow up behind Coach Ross, you better bring it.
Mhm.
You know, and Miss Harris right now is really knocking it out of the park. And not just her, but everyone's, you know, doing a really good job getting things done. So very, very proud of the high school, very proud of the elementary, and we'll get to that in a minute. But if you look at the second page, you can see the junior high, which is, you know, everywhere in junior high is going to be your, you know, it's tough years, but we're very close to our goals in the junior high as well. And I split it up, you know, like I told you before, split it up like it is a 9-12 and a 7-8 school.
What's your attribution for what's pulling reading down so significantly in the junior high?
Well, those scores that you see are about above what the state average would be.
Mhm.
So typically, the state average of reading scores in junior highs are lower than even your elementaries and your high schools.
Mhm.
I don't know, we've talked about that before, I don't know why the test is different. I know that's a tough year, you know, but it's been typical, it's typically been as far as data goes, that's been the trend since we started MAP.
Mhm.
Notice that the junior high scores have been lower before when we were on Common Core, we were on just the MAAP. It's the MAAP now.
Yeah.
The junior high scores were higher,
Hmm.
which is it's odd to me. And even under SATP, the junior high scores were higher than the
Yeah.
high school scores.
Interesting.
I think a lot of it has to do with the remediation that we're able to do in 9th grade at the high school. For our, now we're really being very technical, we're being very deliberate as far as when we get kids and we're tracking their data.
Mhm.
And we see them coming to 9th grade and we know they're not ready for Algebra 1.
Yeah.
And we know that they're going to be struggling in English 2.
Mhm.
We go ahead and start those remediations, whether that be foundations of algebra or compensatory math in the 9th grade. So very deliberate with our remediation and things like that.
I guess my question is, if we can do that in 9th grade, why can we not do it in 7th grade?
We're trying, I mean, we have study skills, so that's what we're talking about. iReady, each 7th and 8th grader has a study skills. It's not for lack of trying, and we want to get it there.
Yeah.
That's
I just
how-
mean that targeted,
Yeah.
intentional approach with data, like is it the handoff between 6th and 7th grade?
That could be part of it, you know, it's a transition period for sure, and that's for every kid, transition from
Mhm.
elementary type
Yeah.
environment to a high school type environment.
Mhm.
It's always difficult.
Yeah.
And you gotta realize that you're looking at a 700-point school and you're looking at a 1,000-point school as well
Mhm.
with the high school.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed reading it seems to struggle
Yeah.
compared to math.
It does, and we're, even at the elementary school, we are identified for our reading, our special education
Yeah.
reading students.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And reading is hard. It's hard to, I mean, if we're not teaching it intentionally and
Mhm.
progressively and consistently across classrooms and across grades,
Right.
kids get lost
Mhm.
in that very easily.
They do.
And
And-
it's just not, there are ways, I mean, there are things, it's just really hard.
It
And
is.
consistency is really key. So I guess that's, the question behind the question is, how are we working with those upper grades at the elementary school and the junior high to make sure that that group, that 6, 7, 8 group is having a consistent experience so that the culture shock of changing campus isn't that plus, you know,
Yeah.
reading instruction.
One of the things we did was to kind of, well, not kind of, make the curriculum uniform. You know, so they're seeing what they're going to see in junior high, at elementary school. Before, it was just everybody, 5 different people doing 5 different things.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, you know, even last year, when Vicky was a junior high principal, they went from a D to a B.
Mhm.
You know, so we look to keep on moving on that victory and keep on, but yeah, a big thing
Yeah.
is, hey, we're doing this at the elementary school, and when we transition, you're gonna be doing the same thing. Same thing with iReady, right?
Mhm.
They're using iReady as a remediation piece at the elementary,
Yeah,
being more deliberate about that, being more deliberate about the curriculum we're using, and then at the high school, you know, really letting that curriculum come with them to the junior high.
that's great. I appreciate also
Yeah.
using the tools and resources that we pay. That's just expensive.
It is.
And if people don't know how, teachers don't know
And
how
we still,
to use it.
and
students don't know
we
how to
still
use
gotta
it.
have buy-in, you know, it's still,
Yeah.
it's not perfect.
Yeah,
It's better, but it's not perfect. And
Yeah.
that's kind of what we're harping on every day, is you got this, we bought this for you, this is expensive. This is not the do-all, end-all of, it's just like you got your chefs and you got your cooks, right?
Mhm.
So you can have a pack of ramen right there, and a cook can read the directions on the back of it, and it can make that ramen taste pretty good. It'll get the job done, right? But then you got a chef, and the chef comes in and adds an egg to it or different stuff and makes a masterpiece out of it. So that's kind of how you gotta be with teachers. You gotta give them the recipe to start off with, and as they get better, then they become chefs. So it's kind of what we're trying to do. I'm hungry right now, so
I appreciate your food metaphor here and there.
everything I relate to.
I like it. Thanks for answering those questions.
Yeah, sure.
It's hard to name, to see.
And if you look at the third page, you see our enrollment at the high school, that's 712, around 400 kids. Student ADA, 94%, which is pretty good. And then Vicki had her attendance challenge, and I think that's really working. 24% of our students are chronically absent, and you think, wow, that's crazy. 24%, 7 to 12 is not, it's a lot. We think it's a lot, but it's not bad. You know, it's still well below the state average. Teacher attendance is pretty good, and this is just the month of October. We've only had 3 discipline referrals as of like Wednesday of last week that were transmitted to state. So PBIS is working, doing a good job.
And that's across the entire campus?
Yes,
7 to
7
12.
to 12.
Thank you, sorry, I didn't know you said that.
Alright. Move on to 5.3, our DES update.
And the DES update, like I said, the school is still re-identified as TSI. They're not based off of growth of our SPED students. That's how it's determined, and we were just very close to getting off of it this year, a few points away from it. Still made a increase over the last 3 years.
And just for our memory or knowledge, TSI is when a subgroup of students is underperforming
Right.
significantly enough that we are flagged and then have
Right.
additional resources
Below
for that.
the bottom 5% of all Title I schools.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
in a certain subgroup,
And for us at the elementary school, it's special education.
ELA.
ELA.
Yes, we exited math
Okay.
last year.
So reading
Reading,
is what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, maybe the extra resource will help.
I think so. And one thing we've done, because we used that school improvement money, around $54,000, and hired a assistant teacher who was a certified teacher in another state. This- I can't remember her name. She's called that, I think. It'll come to me in a minute, but she's pulling those students out, and whereas before, we were hiring consultants to come in twice a week.
Yeah.
Well, now she's pulling those students every day and working with them. And she's a teacher's assistant with us because she hasn't got her Mississippi certification yet, but she's a former certified teacher.
Is she working towards that?
Yeah, I think she's kind of happy with what she's doing. But we bounce that idea around. And you can see our goals on the left and kind of where we are. Math, getting close to that, and proficient in advanced as well as science. Growth's going on up there. Just that bottom 25 growth is really what we got to harp on.
Do we ever, I know it's a little bit different, but do we ever do, are there conferences where teachers at the elementary school and teachers at the high school who are doing great with ELA are like talking about
Yeah, we
sharing
talked about-
strategies, like,
We talked about having some,
like joint PD, that's what I'm
right,
saying,
some
yeah.
joint PD, some joint PLCs and things like that. You got, yeah, that'd be great, you share strategies and things like that, you just can't mix the Lexile levels and stuff, and really,
Right.
the reading standards are basically, if you read RL 3.1, it's the same thing as RL 10.1, just the complexity of the language and the standard is
It's
high.
equivalent, yeah.
Right, so it would be a good thing to try to get them all together, and I think this summer we might do some, once we get everybody set
Mhm.
and get everybody here, and we can retain some people, we can start having some more summertime voluntary PDs, and, maybe
Yeah.
pay them to come in for the day or something like that, but that's definitely a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, we have brilliant people in our district across the board, but it'd be great to cross-pollinate. That's useful.
Exactly. That second page is kind of the same thing, just enrollment. ADA, usually typically have less chronic absence at elementary school because kids, got a lot of latchkey kids that kind of come and go as they please at the high school, and it's have more absence. And you have to throw the fact that you got seniors, and once they hit 17 years old, they know they're not under compulsory attendance anymore. And this age of technology, it's a great thing. They're able to do a lot of their work on Google Classroom and things like that, so they may or may not come a couple days a week, and still get their work done, still have good grades. Just,
The sick policy that we implemented finally, that took us a little bit, did that help any with the teacher attendance?
yes, it actually is, yeah. I mean, I've got a spreadsheet that Angie does for me every month. We've got quite a few
Okay.
teachers who are gonna benefit from that, so I'm thinking that the about 1% rate that we're seeing an increase is due in large part to that, the policy we adopted. Last year, we had $53,576, and the elementary's just lagged a year, so we'll get that last year's this year. So we know we'll be able to do the same thing with this assistant teacher next year, even if we come off of TSI. So
Oh, that's great.
it's good now, it wasn't good then, because we were being graded on it and hadn't spent any money on it yet.
Any more questions about the updates? All right, we'll move on. Item 5.4 is school bus purchase.
Craig found a 2018 78 passenger van in Kentucky. Got them down from 72,350 to 70,000. We're in desperate need of this bus. It's in good shape. Didn't have the mileage on it. I think it has around 40,000 miles on it, which is just nothing in terms of school buses. He's been to look at it. Just waiting on us to approve it so we can go get it.
I know we need buses.
We do, and that's something we're going, we'll have to spend more money, but we gotta have them. Vicki and I went down and talked to Kagan, at Everest the other day, and he's getting us in touch with this. And I know it's kind of a, depending on where you are, it's kind of a touchy subject, but the electric school bus things, and I'm hoping if we can, it wouldn't hurt to have two of them, just to run town routes, see if we can get them for almost free. And I'm not going to destroy a 2018 bus to get it. If we can, it depends on what the stipulation is for what the bus we have to destroy is. We're not going to destroy we can't destroy one of our running route buses, but we can take one and get it running that we don't want to use, and we'll see how that works out. We're supposed to have a meeting sometime. Have you heard back from the company? I know he sent them a follow-up today, but I'll follow up with him and see if we can, just, it's something just to look at, I mean, if we can get the docking station, 10 years, free maintenance, they're under warranty for 10 years.
I think it's great to have diversity of transportation possibilities and more buses.
Right.
Seems great.
I mean, if we just even if we just got one to run on, just
Yeah.
back and forth, when we get our new welding station, we get our welding station up and going, just back and forth there.
Yeah. And Randy said there's room in the budget for this. Did I hear him say that?
He
He
got
did.
$100,000.
Yeah.
We budgeted $100,000 for
And this will
buses.
eat 70.
Yes, that's what he said.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
But we think it'll last.
It's-
Craig's happy with
yeah,
it.
2018 will be one of the newest buses we have.
Seems good.
Do we have to vote on it? Because,
Oh, yeah.
or not, because it's in the budget?
I think we still have to approve it.
You have to approve the
Oh,
purchase, it's over.
Oh, a certain amount, yeah. Well, I motion to approve it.
All right, and a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we'll move on to 5.5, which is a basketball donation.
That's the basketball booster club donating the money to the district. And we will turn around and purchase the uniforms because we're taxes in.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the basketball donation totaling $5,430?
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, 5.6 is another donation, a TVA match fund.
We were awarded a $10,000 TPA grant this year from the electric department. And this is, Tommy Reynolds has been kind of quarterbacking this whole thing. And he called me about it and I said, yeah, let's do it. He then in turn donated money himself along with Case Washington, Jacob Warhead to match that grant. And of course the district can kick in whatever else. And his idea for it, which I said, hey, let's do it, is to get the things we needed for the welding trailer, just sitting there behind Everest. And our ag program and our construction program both have welding components in there, and it's part of the curriculum. So a couple days a week, we're gonna either, if we can get it up here, that'd be great. If we can't, because of electricity issues, we're gonna be redoing it. We can get our kids down there twice a week in each class, bus them from here to there, it's a 2-hour block, and get them trained at some welding. And I've even spoken with the CTE director at Northwest last week, Mr. Reynolds, and I did, about getting some Northwest instructors in here in the afternoon to teach welding night classes, using our equipment, not our equipment, but equipment that we shored up.
Is it a one-to-one match? We got 10,000, we need to match 10,000?
Right, so we got 10,000.
And so we have 2,500 to go
Right.
to make the match.
And then Casey said he was gonna have some people kind of work on it, but Randy and I both talked about it. If we can get that going, the district can, I think we can come on $2,500 for welding rods and coat paint or whatever we need, our part we need to kick in.
I think it's great.
And help out with workforce development for sure, because just like I do, we get out,
Oh,
weld a little bit.
My nephew, he goes to Lafayette, and
They do
he's
it.
been taking welding,
Yeah.
and he just welded something for me a couple of weeks ago at the house. I'm like,
cool.
yeah, so I mean, it benefited me in the long run.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good skill.
I had a rusted out hole in the frame of my Land Cruiser, and I had one of the kids there welding a patch on it for me, so
Yeah,
it's a kid doing it.
yeah, it's good.
That's awesome.
I can't weld.
A lot of opportunities in that.
There are, yeah.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the donation for the welding trailer equipment in the amount of $7,500?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, item 5.7 is a donation from the Dennis and Roy McMahon Foundation.
Mr. Robert Turnage has always been really good to us as far as helping out any way he can, and I've been working with him since I've been here for scholarships and things like that, and he always wants to give a scholarship or something to children who he doesn't think are going to go and really, they're going to go to maybe a trade or something like that. and he's done that, he did it last year, but he came to me earlier this year and wanted to, the trust fund, they wanted to donate some money to the district, and he wanted to really earmark it for teacher awards or incentives and things like that, extracurricular activities. So we gave each school $1,000 they can use for PBIS incentives. We used to have a lot of that money in federal programs, and I would give away TVs every year, like at Christmas. If you didn't have any referrals, put your name into a drawing, and the kids really liked it. And so that was just $2,000 that we're going to be able to reward students with good behavior, good attendance, and very appreciative of that. So many people here want to help. He's just a wonderful guy.
He is.
He is.
Yes.
Retired educator, superintendent.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the donation in the amount of $2,000 from the Dennis and Lloyd McMahon?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, item 5.8 is the disposal of a lot of assets.
Do we just have a lot of equipment that's unusable? Just I feel like it's a lot.
Well, I feel the pain because our
Yeah.
computer at the office crashed last week,
Oh.
and it's only
They're not built to
three,
last.
Yeah.
years old.
Yeah, they want you to,
And
they want you to
now we have
update
to
every 3
upgrade
years.
everything.
And even with these Google, with these Chromebooks, eventually after about, you get 3 years out of one, you're doing good, because at the 5th year, they're gonna start, it's gonna start coming out with updates, and you.
That's what happened.
The machine won't update.
It tried to update
Right.
in the middle of the night, and it just completely
And
crashed.
so a lot of these it's gonna cost us more money to redo them, and then we won't be able to update them anyway in a year than it is to just buy another one.
Mhm.
It's unfortunate, kind of one of those things where you get into and you're happy that you have technology for once, but then well, that extra money's gone. So you gotta start looking at how you're gonna budget and replace them. We already have, came up with a plan to kind of just incrementally, just gradually update our computers. We can't just go get a whole new.
What I was
Oh,
just
I'm
thinking
trying.
is, right here almost at the beginning, well, it's not quite the beginning, but at the beginning of the school year almost. It's got a little ways to go.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of these should have been,
Yeah, they're 2018.
Yeah, a long time
Before
ago.
that's the money.
we're just trying to clear up some paperwork.
Yep.
Yeah, so these 2018 was the 2019, were the ones that I started buying and putting into the tested classes before COVID, which is why we were in pretty good shape when COVID hit, because all of our tested classes we were already operating in a Google Classroom and all that.
I don't have a problem with it. Well, I mean, just like, there's a lot at one time, so maybe some of this is older, we just don't get the paperwork.
It is, yes. Those are
That makes me feel a little
2018.
better, so it's like, it's a
A
lot.
lot of them
place at
have
one
been
time.
used in a long time.
Okay.
All right, can we get a motion to dispose of assets as listed?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, item 6 is our board members report.
Just a reminder that we have scheduled with the MSBA for November the 12th and November the 21st. Definitely, and then they'll talk to us about what date after that in one of those two, so we can find a date that works better for everybody, because I know there are a couple of folks who can't be here on one and the other. And that will start at 5:30, and I'm unsure of the length, but I would imagine 2 to 3 hours, probably 2.
And I was at Massa last week, and Chris Fleming was there, just the superintendent of Senatobia, and they just went through this process.
Yeah.
And it was a really good session. I mean, he was very informative, something I needed to hear as far as building this kind of structuring document. And, it's kind of come from, it's like the way he described it, it's the board's vision, what is important to the board, and then it's my job to implement that, you know. So I like school because he kind of said, hey, if somebody comes into you and they want to know why, you know, so-and-so's going to only say, well, we'll call the board. We'll say, yeah, this is the board's policy. This is the board's plan. I'm following it, you know, so I was good here.
I was at a training with Senatobia, and they all came, and they all talked about how great it was. It was
Yeah.
really neat.
That's kind of what we sat there last week, and I know him well, so he's,
Great.
Anybody else, board members report?
All I can think about is party right now.
yeah,
When you think about,
yeah, it's been tough.
yeah.
All right, we'll move on to item 7 is our superintendent's report.
And yeah, I would be remiss, I tried to keep you up to, if I didn't mention Jason and the contribution he's made to so many kids, thousands of kids over the years. So it's been tough, really, really tough. And y'all heard me talk before about I didn't want to be the kind of educator. I did. It's cool to be the kind of educator that the valedictorian, the salutatorian, and the story mentions in their speech. But if I always wanted to be, if you gave the bottom 3 students in the graduating class a speech, who would they mention? And I can tell you, it would be Jason Purdy. You would be surprised at how many students are there in that building right there behind Coach Ross and won't say Jason Purdy was their favorite teacher. Just because he was caring, loving, just everything. He personifies what it means to be a Blue Devil, in my opinion. So it's been tough, tomorrow will be tough, but we'll get through it. But
I will not be here tomorrow, but I have talked to his family. Jason and I, we were roommates in college. There was 4 of us, and Jason and I were 2 of the 4. So
is that the first real world episode?
yeah, no. Jason didn't have a car in college either, so we had to take him everywhere. So there's a lot of fun stories about that, but he didn't miss class. We made sure of that. So we made us feel, but Jason never missed class. Just so y'all know,
He
ever.
Never missed
So
work.
Jason, my class is not till 10, but I gotta be there at 8. I'm like, okay.
He was talking about retiring this year, and I think he made up his mind that he was going to stick it out. I think part of that was my fault because at the beginning of this year, I went to him and told him that I was wanting to start a bass fishing team, and I needed a coach. So, you know,
That would be pretty cool.
yeah, and I'm thinking, seriously thinking about that. He was going to be my coach, but we'll see. He had the boat and everything.
Hmm.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of schools in Mississippi that do have
they
that.
do, yeah. Services will be tomorrow from 12 to 2, and it's the Church of Christ in Coffeyville, whatever the one on Bailey Street is. Which is why we decided that
Yeah,
I
thank
was
you.
initially just going to do the high school, and I was going to try to run 2 routes. And then Craig said, well, a lot of these bus drivers want to go too, and Craig said, I want to go. And I said, okay.
Well, he was, Craig and I are classmates, and Jason's first cousin is a classmate of ours, which is how all of us are connected. His
Yeah.
sister are classmates, so we were close to him.
Yeah.
He grew up with us.
On a lighter note, I know y'all saw it because we're so proud of our band. First superior in 27 years. It's fantastic. Wes is in 3 years. I was at when I went to the competition that day in Grenada, and the Grenada band director stopped me. I'm like, man, it's been so fun to watch this guy, what he's done over the last 3 years. And they don't give out compliments much, you know what I'm saying? Because they're top of the food chain, you know. But that's a big deal, big deal.
Yeah, I was in the band last time that happened.
I was going to say,
That's amazing.
Been a long time.
we had
I was
Stanley
in the
Crow.
band too, and they told me, we got to go try out for whatever we want to try out for. And he said, nah, we'll be on the clarinet. I was like, I'm going to be.
I played the tuba of all instruments, my little son.
Oh,
So it was bad.
That was great.
It wasn't bad, but it was.
Y'all must have been pretty good. The last few years. That's good. That's good. We got our trunk or treat Thursday here at the high school. We'll have to move inside. It'll be raining. I think we got like 10 tables, 10 people that come to do it, which is great.
You got it. I'll ask Sandra. Does the chamber have a table? You know, we've done it before.
We've done it.
I know he called and
I can't
asked, but I'm
remember.
not
Okay.
sure if he did.
I can't remember.
We got the,
Mentioned it.
We got the same thing at the elementary school, which is a little bit different. And I think tomorrow we have spooky science night at the elementary. I think we're still gonna do it 5 to 6. So. Home football game against Bruce this week. That'll determine, we should end up number 2. That'll probably put us against LaFleur County, Riverside, somebody like that. If we win, that'll put us at home.
Great.
I've enjoyed the season. I've been to a lot of games.
It's been fun. That been
Picked up a little.
it has, yeah.
Yeah.
It has. It's been good. Other than that, that's about all I got.
All right. Well, at this time, we'll consider executive session. Get a motion to consider executive session to discuss personnel recommendations.
So moved.
And I need a motion to remain in executive session.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
All right.
You may have heard of us, but you might not know Bank First is a community bank that has no-fee ATM access, interest, and perks earning checking accounts, with online and mobile banking, mortgages for every stage of life, and modern business banking for businesses, small and big. We keep it all together to put you first. Do you bank with us? You should.